So you're a time traveler. So you're from the future.
Yeah, I'm roughly about, I'm a time traveler, about 300 years from the future. I wanted to come to the past. I've been traveling all over time, just trying to, find out what's going on in the past, It's exciting.
So have you read any good books or anything?
No, I honestly, I don't know I don't know how to read.
Do you not have research papers on your time travel? You can't read, so how did you come up with...
We just thought it up, man. We built the darn thing.
What about your equations for, the time travel?
What are equations?
The mathematics, like E equals MC squared.
No, man, No, we just thought it up and built it.
Can you draw?
Nope, we just built it.
I'm having a hard time wrapping my mind around this.
Well, I'm not. And actually, man, I'm kind of running out of time right now.
You've got a watch.
You
don't...
Yeah.
How do you have a watch and you don't know how to read, do mathematics, draw?
I'm from the future.
And how is a time traveler ever late?
A time traveler is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Hey there, folks. Welcome back to the Dice Odyssey. I'm Kaz.
And I'm Brian.
And we are here to review the Stonemaier Games super hit game that just released recently, Tapestry. I was really excited. I was really, admittedly, I was a bit on the hype train. I really was. I was like, man,
you got me on the hype train.
Yeah, the civilization building that was in this game, that was proposed to be in this game, I was so excited because I love civ building games. I mean, anything from computer to board games. If it's got civilization building in it, it may very well be something I'm going to enjoy. It just is.
Play for hours.
Absolutely. And typically that's how long they will play, several hours if it's a good one, right? So anyway, we're going to go ahead and give our just a brief overview on how it plays. We're not going to get into every single little detail. But then we're going to get back with our pros and cons and our final thoughts on the game. If you want to see an almost full component breakdown, check out our unboxing that we did that was actually taking place on the beach. In Tapestry, create the civilization with the most storied history, starting at the beginning of humankind and reaching into the future. The paths you choose will vary greatly from real-world history. Your civilization is unique. There are 16 different civilizations to choose from, each ranging in their own special ability and focused path to take. Gameplay in Tapestry is very simple. On your turn, you may either collect income to begin a new era, or advance your player token once on an advancement track. Those are the 4 tracks along the side of the board, by paying the costs and gaining resulting benefits. You have the science track, where you'll be able to roll the science die and gain benefits or movement on different tracks based on what you roll. You have technology, which, as you may have guessed, deals primarily with technology cards and upgrades. You have exploration, which will help you place tiles upon the board, which will expand the map further. And when you place those tiles, you'll be able to orient them in certain ways to match their surrounding landscapes to gain you victory points. You can even gain resources off of those tiles. And you have the military track, which will allow you to conquer any open land tiles on the table. Sometimes you will run across other players attempting to do the same thing, and as long as they have only one outpost on that tile, you can attempt to conquer them. If you do so, you will topple their outpost. Watch out, if they play a trap card on you, they get to topple you instead. As you move upon each track, sometimes you'll be able to place a landmark building if you get there first. You'll place that directly onto your capital city map, making sure to avoid the red dotted areas. When you place enough to fill in certain spots, not only can you gain resources, but you'll also gain victory points on your income turn phase. Throughout the game, you can also gain different kinds of technologies. Also, you'll gain different kinds of tapestry cards, which will gain you different kinds of benefits in-game. Now, if you decide to take an income turn, you may activate your civilization's power. You must play a tapestry card. You may upgrade tech cards to gain benefits and bonuses. And you may also earn income in terms of resources and victory points from the spots on your player boards that you opened up by placing income buildings on your capital city map. Now, the game will end at different times for each player. Your game ends when you finish your final, which is your 5th, income turn. You'll gain the benefits. You'll calculate your points. The person with the most points at the end of the game wins. There's also included a solo game through the use of the Automa cards. Let's go ahead and get back to our final thoughts. All right, Brian. So, first thing we want to hit is
Components?
Components.
Components were phenomenal. I really enjoyed these components. I really love the detail in these little miniatures.
Okay, that's all you needed. That's all you need to hear on components. It was amazing.
No.
No, it was good. It was
overall
really good.
the other components and the way the boards feel, they got that texturized feel, especially when you get to some of the houses and such. Mm-hmm. They don't slide around when you bump the table, accidental table bump. So I thought that was awesome on that.
Yeah, absolutely. The texture quality on the player boards and everything. I mean, even on these, the civilizations and things, that was amazing.
Your little mini maps or your capital cities.
If you've played a Stonemaier game, you know that their quality is typically very high.
Top-notch.
We are massive fans of Scythe, for example, and yes, you do upgrade that game if you want to, but as it is, it was a great game coming out of the box. We love viticulture, at least I do. I don't know how you feel about it, but
viticulture is pretty good. It took me a while to get into. Well, Scythe took me a while to get into.
It's funny. That's kind of
it's kind of I guess a Stonemaier.
Well, at least for me.
Well, except for Wingspan. Wingspan didn't really take me to get.
Oh yeah, Wingspan was really good. I was surprised by how much I liked it. Yeah.
Scythe, Tapestry really didn't take me that long to get into.
Okay, this game is actually very simple to get into. That was the one thing I was surprised by. That's a huge pro.
That's a huge pro, and it's very simple, very easy to learn.
The symbology was not that bad. Within a game, you generally have it.
A lot of the symbology here is represented on Scythe.
With higher player count, it can run pretty long, but once you guys y'all have it figured out, it starts going smoothly.
Yeah, once everybody you play with a regular group of people and that you've played this 2 times, it's going to go quick. You're going to know. Now,
when it comes to the mechanics, if I'm talking pros, I am a massive fan of engine building games. And that's what Stonemeier's pretty well known for. Worker placement, engine buildings, that's what they specialize in. And I have to say, I felt that the engine building in this game was very strong in many regards.
Fulfilled on the engine building.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have nothing bad to say about the engine building aspects. Being able to level up by opening up more houses on my player board, and being able to open up extra areas, so whenever I do my income turn, I'm gaining a ton of stuff off of it.
More resources.
Yeah.
All kinds of things you're gaining.
I did love that aspect. And then planting my Tapestry card down, which may give me something that's going to be awesome that round.
Keyword may.
Exactly. We'll get into that. But in general, though, the sense of progression from the opening up of buildings on here, adding them to your landmark map, possibly getting more resources from your landmark map, which I did like, okay? Even adding these big buildings to close up certain areas of your landmark map to get you more resources, and then later on get you a ton of points.
Oh, yes.
All that was great. All this is gravy, right? I love that. And I don't know, the tracks on the board, for the most part, I like the progression on them. I tried them all. I've tried military science. I tried it all, and I can honestly say there are strengths and weaknesses to both. But it also depends upon your Tapestry card. It also depends upon your Civ. Absolutely.
Civ, really looking more into it, you really got to focus on what your Civ strengths are. If you like to explore, but your Civ isn't geared toward exploration, you're headed down the wrong path.
Oh, yeah. When it comes to that, I was very fulfilled. And when it comes to the main area map, again, it comes down to I like the progression of laying out tiles and getting resources like you're exploring, right?
Yeah.
Now, let's go into theme. Now, this is going to be a mix of pro and con. It just is, okay? In this game, let me put it this way. I had to really, really and seriously use my imagination to pull the theme out a lot more. And I really felt like that's kind of what this game was kind of tailored off of.
This is where I felt let down.
Yeah, I can honestly say I felt a little bit let down myself. Okay, from the way that the tech cards come out, which, by the way, I did like the tech cards. I like the idea of developing different kinds of techs and
time travel
before you develop written language, for example, or whatever it is. Yeah, before you develop canned food, you can develop time travel.
I don't even have light bulbs yet.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't develop, a sewage line before I might have developed time travel. You know what I'm saying? So if you're talking about the theme in terms of does it make logical sense in our world, that is a freaking hard no. Okay? None of it makes sense in that regard if you're talking about our planet, present day.
I really think in the tech cards, I think there should have been like 3 phases of the tech cards that come out.
You're thinking tech tree. You really are. That's more tech tree-ish.
Yeah, it is. And I think there really should have been, a progression in line with that you have certain technologies available to you in certain spots and others in another spot. Because having the time travel card come out right immediately doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. One, you can't even use it until someone hits, tier 4 or 3 or 4 or something like that.
Whatever it said, yeah.
And if you're, still back here on, exploration track at 1 and military track back on 1, it really doesn't help you out any.
Devil's advocate, though, if you notice, they also did say that some of them can't be used until certain tiers. So, to a certain extent, they try to add some flavorful theme into that, but at the same time, I don't feel it quite worked. If you're talking real world, again, we're going back to that.
Real world.
And I do know that Stonemaier has talked about that this is not supposed to be set in our world. That's the saving grace of this game in that respect. I didn't dislike the tech cards, but the way that they were implemented, it just didn't sit right with me completely. But I think what I had to do was kind of forgive the game for what it was saying it was, which was a straight civilization. Because when you put civilization, if it didn't have civilization on the box,
I wouldn't have a problem.
It wouldn't have bothered me as much, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a lot of problems.
Keep in mind, this isn't just us saying this. There are other people at our table who were kind of saying there was people at the table that loved the engine building but hated the fact that it was saying civilization on it.
Yeah, I mean,
they're like, that's not.
One guy at the table was like, the civilization. He just really couldn't get behind the theme, but when he started doing the resource management part of it, he's like, bam, he just took off running.
So there are aspects to the game that you'll probably end up loving if you allow yourself to, if you can get past the whole civilization part. Yeah. And so, again, that's slapped on the box, so we have to take that into account. And here's the other thing. When it comes to, let's stay on theme, actually. When it came to the theme in that regard, not really once did I ever feel like, at the end of my game, look here at my civilization. Look at what I conquered. Yes, there is a slight, tiny bit of battle, but it's it's all deterministic and it's all
my first game. I had pretty much my entire landmark capitals.
Cities.
I had pretty much that entire thing covered up. Yeah, I felt a little. He
had big buildings too. He was
accomplished everything. I had all the buildings, and we'll find out why in a minute. But I really didn't feel the accomplishment, because with each one of those landmarks in that, I didn't feel like I gained anything but taking up space.
Yeah.
And I felt like I get the space rocket, I should at least get some kind of extra special ability with that.
And also I did like the landmarks, but the thing was I was kind of hoping they would have powers. On the flip side, I could also
extra resource for this.
Yeah, but on the flip side, but if you fill up a certain area on your map, you get that.
Or it would give you a discount on your resources to move up the tech tree 1 or something for one each round.
Yeah, maybe.
Each time or something maybe. For each one.
I don't know if that would break the game, though, because there could be games where somebody doesn't get a single one of those things and everybody else is just... That would be runaway leader problem,
There's a lot of games like that where you do certain things and you get certain discounts and bonuses, right?
Yeah, I'm not quite sold on that
Scythe has on some of those, but... that might not have been the right way to go, but at least I want something with my landmark.
Right.
Other than ooh, look at me, I have a landmark.
On the flip side, I could also see how that could add a little bit too much bloat in terms of what you have to keep up with in the game. Coming to the civs, I will go into the pros first. I really, really loved having a civilization that felt completely different from everyone else. That was awesome.
Having different powers than everybody else was phenomenal.
You give me a game, I say this in so many reviews, you give me a game where we have asymmetric powers and it feels completely different from everybody else's powers and nobody can do what I do, that's awesome. The probably my favorite, one of my favorite powers was the craftsman. Okay, that civilization where you're able to take the little landmark, the little landmark buildings, and you put them here, and you're able to gain all these different kinds of benefits and resources, and ultimately you start progressing up the ladder to get points. That was amazing, and I was able to really climb, I think, to a victory one game because of this, or I was really close to it. I think it was you and me. It was you when we played. We even played 2-player, and I think that's when I used it. And at the same time, these Tapestry cards, if you can get the right ones, we're going to get into this in a minute. If you can get the right ones to work with your civilization, wow, you can have like a 20 to 40 to 50 points. It depends on what it is.
Depends on what it is. You can,
these things
soar
change the game
above everybody else and, just take off.
Yeah, and the decisions are so strong in this game for this. So, for example, with Craftsman, because I'm not putting a lot on my landmark board, I may be losing over here, but I'm gaining a lot of early game stuff, right? But here's the thing, with the terraforming, this area you may construct buildings on impassable land in your capital city. Whenever you do gain 5 points. So if I can get this and play this maybe mid to late game, I think I gained like 30 points off this one card in one.
50.
Was it higher? I don't remember. It was a lot of points.
You gained a lot of points off
when I wasn't gaining that many on my capital city map at first. That goes in to say these Tapestry cards are extraordinarily powerful, and some of them are pretty amazing. Let's just be honest, especially when it comes to the trap cards, and you're kind of possibly bluffing somebody out. Why don't you come on over here and take my spot over, and then you drop a tap card down.
There's a few really good ones in there.
Yeah, there really are. Now this gets into, let's go into the Tapestry cards. This can go into a possible con. Now keep in mind this is all subjective, but this is also objective on how these things can swing the game.
A lot of these will work with your civilization when you get it, but when you don't get it, you get hosed.
Big time.
Big time. And there's times where you got to your left and got to your right that are just, they've got those Tapestry cards that work well with their civilization, and they're just soaring ahead of you. And
I get stuck.
You get these ones like, oh, okay, yeah.
Nothing's really working well with me here.
I get to copy one ability, maybe.
And you could have been pulling cards the whole game. I have seen somebody sit here in this game, pull cards the whole game. They had like a hand of 6, 7 cards. I don't remember how many. They had a lot. And they just didn't have many that really worked well with their civilization. Not saying that was every game, because it wasn't, but it obviously is a possibility. And you might say change your strategy up, but the problem is that these Tapestry cards are a major part of it.
This is your strategy.
While I love these cards, on the same,
as well.
Yeah, it's like a love-hate relationship with them. So
like
again,
Tyson Catan.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I've got the best numbers, and now they're not rolling. It's the same. It had that same kind of feeling for me. But there was times where I played with it, and I just happened to pull the right cards. If you go into this thing thinking that you're going to be able to map things out perfectly, forget playing this game and being happy with it, because it's not going. There are going to be people that are going to be upset with this game because of it. But then again, on the flip side, there are going to be people that absolutely love this game, no matter what. Now, we're going to get to the civilizations. This, I said the pros on it already. There were so many cool civilizations in this game I absolutely adored.
My favorite.
But these civilizations, many of them are highly imbalanced in between each other. There are some civilizations in this game that basically cancel the other one's powers out. Which one? Futurists?
Futurists cancel out the Chosen.
Yes, because the Futurists are starting on your fourth spot on each track.
And, I love that aspect of that.
The Futurists are cool, don't get me wrong, but
it's great for an introductory game. If you got somebody new to the game, new to board gaming, new to your group or whatever, give them the Futurist if you're pulling this game out.
Yeah. Now, granted, I know that they're taking on Stonemeier's website, they're taking like stats and stuff about how many times civilizations win against others. What I wish had happened in this rule book was they gave you starting civilizations. Like they said,
recommendations.
Recommendations.
Especially with the chosen and the futures. If guy gets chosen and guy gets futures, one of them has to go.
Go into the rule book here. Let me just go ahead and hit this. 4 pages. Okay. Technically 6 because you had the player aids, and I really love these player aids. I have to say that the player aids, if you've heard me harp on this in any review,
Batman.
Yeah, exactly. If you ever heard me harp on this in any review,
Batman.
Shut up, man. There was other ones too, but Batman's the worst. Did it meet the hype for me? No, and that's my fault. That is absolutely my fault. I 100% own that. I was excited because I became a huge Stonemaier fan.
Well, I also think that's a little bit on Stonemaier for the hype out there on it.
But he has every right to he just says, here, check this out, and people have the right to choose that hype. That was
like
me.
Indiana Jones
I don't blame
Crystal
him
Skull. Everybody's like, Indiana Jones, and it comes out, it sucks.
This game doesn't suck.
No, it doesn't suck. But it still is the responsibility of the person creating it not to hype it up into the extent to be where it's like it builds everybody's expectations up. Yes, we were excited for
all he was doing was showing what the game had in it, and that's perfectly fine.
And hype, other people took it and hyped it in another direction, but
that's marketing, man. It's our decision to get excited.
But if you hype it too much, it can be a downfall.
Ultimately, did this game kind of work itself out for me? Yeah, actually, in some respects it did. I started to actually really like it. Do I feel fulfilled as a civilization game? No, absolutely not. But do I feel fulfilled in the progression of the engine building aspect? Absolutely. Do the Tapestry cards swinginess really bother me that much? Not that much. But I'm just letting you know it is there. So if you don't like that kind of swinginess in your game, you may not like this game. This may not be for you. I'm just being honest with you. Where I'm sitting on this game, give me your final thoughts.
So my final thoughts is that to me it's not the Civ that I wanted. It's the resource management. Awesome. I love it as a resource management game. Take Civilization off the name Tapestry, and I love this game. Put Civilization on this, and I'm not there.
Really?
I'm not there.
Okay.
I really there's some things that hinder me on that a lot. A lot of it, some of the randomness of the Tapestry cards. Mediocre. Awesome card. Mediocre.
Yeah.
And it didn't hit every note for me.
Yeah, your balloon was deflated.
My balloon was deflated.
It was popped in half,
like a little child walking down the street and somebody comes out.
There are some things that I don't like about this game, and we mentioned that, but there's a lot of things I love. Absolutely. Engine building, resource management. I love the look of the board. I love going up these tracks. But do I recommend this game if you're looking for a direct, straight, logical Civ? No.
Now,
but if you're looking for an awesome engine builder with some like a Civ theme kind of slapped on, I guess.
Let me ask you this question.
Yeah, it's actually really good engine builder.
Price point. How do you feel about it?
Oh, now you're going to go into that because everybody's different, man. If you're talking price point, that's almost an unfair question to a certain extent because everybody's different. For what you're getting in the box production-wise, yeah, it's great. Mechanics, that's going to be for somebody else to make a decision on.
Yeah.
All they got to do is look at the rules, look at videos, see how it plays. That's hard for me to say because also with the pre-order they were knocking it down to like $80, I think.
It's still though at that price
it's
point.
Up there. It's I think it's the most expensive game he said. So.
All right. So if we went ahead color miniatures, all right, at $80.
Oh, probably not. Okay. But see, now you're getting into parts of the game.
No, I'm just saying.
Let's take the game as a whole.
Take the game as a whole.
You have to make that decision for yourself. I mean, it may seem like I'm trying to get a way out there, but really it's a hard question to answer because everybody's different. Everybody's wallet's different.
Yeah.
So, again, if you want to spend the money, that's on you. All you got to do is watch a video and see if you think you'll like it.
As a rating for me, I'm going to put it down at a 5.
What?
Take Civilization. Ooh. Take Civilization name off.
Man, he burned
Don't call it a Civilization game, and I will go up to a 7.
Really? first few games, I was at like a 5.5 or a 6. And several more games in, I've actually risen up to about a 7.5. Now, is that because of the civilization part? No, I agree with him on that. I think, again, you just have to, if you're somebody who wants to just use your imagination and say, this is my world I'm building and it's my own story I'm telling, and I don't care that time travel comes out before written language or whatever,
Yeah.
then you can do that, because that's more science fiction at that point, and that's fine, because this is not supposed to be real world. That's fine. So that's where I'm standing on it, and I would highly recommend it if you want it for that.
Is this going to keep me from playing it more? No.
That's pretty much the review. I really enjoy it. Again, if you just go into the aspects I was talking about, and I am very much looking forward to playing it again. But have you played it? Tell me what you think. Do you feel the same way about it? But anyway, thank you so much for watching the Dice Odyssey videos, and we appreciate you for watching. You have a blessed day.
And you come back now, you hear?
And game away.
This video is brought to you by Fallen Dominion Studios. Check out their website at fallendominionstudios.com.